So it is my honor and privilege to welcome the brilliant founders of the TantraNova Institute, Freddy and Elsbeth, affectionately known. What I want you to know about them is they have been on this journey with us for 14 years, because in our original location, it was in the old Transitions Annex space on Kingsbury, and we shared space with them, and I think that's how Bodhi originally stumbled upon your brilliance. We have had the honor of having them here a number of times, and so if you've enjoyed them before, you'll get to enjoy them again. They bring the work of sacred sexuality into many different spaces. They bring it into colleges and universities. They bring it into corporate settings. They serve the YPO, the Young Presidents Organization, through couples workshops. So in some of the less assuming spaces, they're bringing the conversation of sacred sexuality. And I make up that you guys do that because if we X out a part of us, we don't have access to the wholeness that is our brilliance. So it is our honor and privilege to have you this day. We thank you for your work in the world. We thank you for the ways that you raise up this conversation. I have the honor of working with them privately for the last 3 months, so I'm getting a little of my own sexual healing going. And I hope that you gain something from them this day.
Thanks, Lola. Thank you, congregation, everyone. Yeah, good to be back.
Thank you so much. We are honored to be here. Thanks for inviting us. And I just want to position a little bit what we want to share with you today. You know, in the previous Sundays, you moved through different spaces. You know, from the space to tapping into your sexual center and healing with Mark Anthony Lord. And then I remember last week, it was about looking at how much we all are affected by the world religions and how sexual energy has been vilified for for many millennia. And today we want to take the whole subject to a whole other level, which is, when we look beyond sexual healing, what may open up? So we want to take the whole conversation beyond the bedroom, beyond the mere pleasure, which is, of course, we are very much for. So we want to take that pleasure into a realm where it can support us in turbocharging to make our dreams come true. Now, usually that's not an arena, that's not a realm that we, got taught about. It's actually just the opposite. Don't go there until you're married, and then what? Is it someone else's energy? No, it always has been my energy. And what you just said, Lola, about if this part is missing, I cannot be whole. So how we look actually at sexual energy, which is life force energy, none of us would be sitting here today if it hadn't been for that energy. It is life force, it runs through us all our life from the day we are conceived to the moment we die. So how would it be once we cleared all the shame, fear, guilt, embarrassment, what opens up is a well, it's a fountain of life force that I can use in the bedroom for pleasure, for enjoyment with my beloved. I can use it to make babies, and I can use it to turbocharge my projects, what I'm about in this world. And this is what where we want to take you today. Does it sound good? Yeah. Okay, great. Now, you may have moved through different spaces over the last few weeks. Some of you may have been feeling uncomfortable around this whole sexual healing topic. Others of you may be sitting at the edge of your chair and finally Lola shares something with us, which gets really to the core. Some of you may be here to really explore further your own sexual healing from wounding, early wounding in life. And some of you really may be here and say, wow, yeah, I really want to learn about this, unlocking creativity and pleasure through sexual meditation. So we are taking meditation to a whole new level. So before we go any further, we want to also let you know what brought us here today, and having the audacity to speak about what we are going to speak.
I guess that's my cue.
Yes.
She never says anything at home. I take her out, I tell you.
I know that's not true.
No, it's not true. It's not. You've been there, Well, I was first introduced to these practices when I was 13 years old. I was living in the beautiful islands of Hawaii with my dad, and I was going through and coming into my manhood, an interesting age, discovering the sexual side of my being, those wondrous new feelings, Showers became longer. My body was cleaner than ever before, and my face took on a new grin. Well, my father knew that I'd made an exciting new discovery, but I didn't realize it at the time, but he was not like most dads. As a psychiatrist, he understood the importance of sex to us human beings and the problems that can arise from suppressing it. So he didn't make me wrong about masturbation. He gave me a book, and with it the gift of knowledge, learning how to integrate meditation and sexual awareness in practice. And I've been on this journey ever since the age of 13. Done a lot of other things, but we all get some form of sex education. But in my view, there's something missing. And this missing link, this missing information, keeps us from harnessing one of the great opportunities we have as human beings to really live the life we really want. True happiness, tapping into what I call the systemic intelligence of sexual energy. Did you know that the ancient Hindus practiced sex not just for pleasure, but also to bring and create and become aware of higher states of being? So what did these people understand that we've largely forgotten? Well, they knew that sex was about much more than making babies in the pursuit of orgasmic pleasure. More recently, in the 20th century, Napoleon Hill, in his self-development classic Think and Grow Rich, raised the subject of an untapped human potential. He listed 10 powerful forces for human motivating factors. And what do you think came out on top? Love, fear, money. For Napoleon Hill, it was sexual desire. Again, so what can we learn from this energy that we all, manifested from? And that's our great opportunity in this life. So I'm really excited about being here today and sharing some of these foundational key practices to starting for you in your life, bringing consciousness to the sexual. Because forever we've been making babies, as Elsbeth said, for the last 100 or so years, recreating, having fun, and with the development of contraceptives. And what we're sharing is how to co-create with this creative life force energy that was creating life before we were aware of our own existence.
Okay. So
3 key meditation practices.
No, not yet, darling. I haven't spoken about how I came to all of this.
That's right, baby. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Tell us, how'd you come to it?
I just want to let you know, I did not have had a dad who gave me a book on sex consciousness. I wished I would have. I don't know about you. Anyone else? So, as you can tell by my accent, I grew up in Germany and came to the United States when I was 29 years old to do postgraduate work in music, and then moved on to get my doctorate in education. From there, I moved into management consulting, and I got very brilliant at that, Lola. Would you believe it? So anyway, you would? Okay. So however, I was miserable in terms of relationship. I had this pattern of attracting unavailable men, which was very exciting at times.
Is anyone familiar with that pattern?
And one day, I said to myself, Elsbeth, if this happens more than once, it probably has something to do with you. Something I did not see, and that very thing that I didn't see was driving the show. You know, so I put myself on a path. Started out with going to a meditation retreat in the south of France with Thich Nhat Hanh for 10 days. It was excruciating because I was for 10 days doing sitting meditation, breathing meditation, eating meditation, walking meditation, confronted with myself, my feelings that I had blamed on lovers, on other people. However, what it left me was a huge opening, which was that I became aware of that I'm the generator of my feelings. From there, I moved on to learn about Tantra because I really wanted to bring lasting, fulfilling relationship and love into my life. So, after the workshop, I immediately decided to go into a certification program. Never mind, I still was a management consultant. So anyway, once I completed the program, I got very clear, this is what I wanted to do, because I had such a profound shift, opening. And I didn't come to Tantra to get better orgasms. I had already pretty good orgasms. However, because some women come to really awaken to their orgasm, you know. However, what I wanted is to discover what was in the way of me bringing, you know, lasting love into my life. What I discovered was distrust towards men that was, you know, on the cellular level residing in my sexual center. Now, I think only the practice of Tantra can actually allow us to go to that level of cellular being. Because when I was a teenager, 18 years old, and that came up in my healing work, was that I had intercourse with my first boyfriend, very much in love, and I really, you know, just was in love. However, it was very painful. So painful that I had to go to the gynecologist. And then the bill from the gynecologist went home to my house. My father opened it and all hell broke loose. So I, you know, totally withdrew, felt so alone. And then that was really the beginning when I made the decision. Men are really never there when you need them. Now, not knowing that that was in the background, that was driving my relationships. No wonder that I didn't trust. However, by clearing, healing on a physical, on a cellular level, what opened up was trust in myself, trust in men in general. And then my darling showed up 6 months later.
Ta-da!
So you can imagine, out of that powerful shift and transformation, I said to myself, Elsbeth, you need to share this with others. And Freddy, you know, I wanted to bring a lover into my life who was either very interested in learning Tantra or already studying Tantra. And then in the second email we met on the internet, he said, you know, by the way, I grew up in a tantric household.
Lies, all lies. I just wanted to get him.
Anyway, so that is how I came to it, and how fortunate to bring a partner into my life where we now can share this with the world, so that the feminine experience and the masculine experience is represented in the listening, in the hearing. And from that place, we want to share more with you about how you can tap further into your wonderful life force, sexual, creative energy, to use it for healing, for clearing, and for creating your life, for creating your relationships, both beloved relationships and relationships in your life. So, yes, Freddy just gives me the cue. Now give them something. Okay, so what I want to give to you is, you know, how do you do that? That's the big question, because Napoleon Hill, he opened up the conversation. He said, if any, you know, successful men, I would say now, any successful man and woman has learned to channel that energy into some creative pursuit. This is what he said. And we give you the tools how to do that. So there are 3 key meditation practices you want to learn, and we will give you a taste of that today. The first key is the conscious breath. The second key is the witness state of mind. And the third key is to become aware of your energy, both non-aroused and aroused.
Great. Okay, so now you get to have something you can take with you for the rest of your life. So the key number 1, conscious breath. We breathe always sympathetically, just we don't think about it, oxygenates the body. Breathing parasympathetically requires our mind to actually focus. So typically, again, we're breathing shallow up in the upper lungs, and it can leave us feeling tense and sometimes uncentered. So when we take a deep breath into the diaphragm and down into the belly, what happens is the chemical state of our body actually shifts. We start to activate more endorphins and serotonin and oxytocin, the feel-good hormones. So breathing consciously puts our body in a chemical state of ease. So I'd like to give you a taste of this now. So your eyes can be open, closed, or soft focus, legs preferably uncrossed. Seated up as straight as comfortable for you. Bring your awareness to your breath. So following with your consciousness, your breath into your nose, down your trachea, into your lungs, extending into your diaphragm and belly like a big balloon on your inhalation. Exhaling back up and out, all in your own pace, depth, and rhythm. Letting your thoughts come and go. Again, breathing in through the nose, following with your awareness, your breath into your lungs, down into your diaphragm, and extending your belly like a big balloon consciously on your inhalation. Exhaling back up and out, all in your own pace, depth, and rhythm. Let's do this one more time. Breathing into your nose, following with your awareness, your breath down, filling your tummy like a big balloon on your inhalation. Exhaling back up and out through your nose, all in your own pace, depth, and rhythm. Slowly bringing your awareness back into the space.
And while you're coming back, notice how you're feeling right now. And notice how your body is feeling.
Beautiful. This leads us to key number 2, the witness state of mind. So as you noticed, just breathing consciously, there were 1,000 thoughts going on. And you thought, oh, let me go back to my breathing again. And that was just 3 breaths. So we are these big brain thinking Homo sapiens, been figuring out the universe for millennia. And if we don't train our mind to stop, we won't be able to watch the thoughts. We never stop them, but we can learn to step a little bit away from the total felt sense or the effect of those thoughts to watch and then choose what we choose, right? Choice. That's really at the bottom line of all of this. So the witness state of mind, unlike animals that aren't aware of their own existence, we are. So like the moose walking through the forest, and this huge tree falls. Boom, the moose is startled, and then it sees some berries, and it eats the berries, and the rain comes, and it lifts its snout and drinks the water, and when it's complete, it moves on. Now the humans...
Sometimes that sounds very appealing to me.
I know. We have to remember the moose, and this is my point here. But typically what we do if we're walking through the forest and the tree falls, it's like, oh my God, I could have been killed. What would have happened to my 401k and my vacation plans? And oh, I got a meeting. I got to make a bridge and it's raining too. Oh God, why me? It's what we do with everything. We are overthinking and story making all the time. So it's difficult to stay on a path of choice. And we all are these beautiful diamonds. I don't know what's before. I don't know what's after. But I don't think it's this. This is our time to dance. So why not use some of these tools like sexual energy that we come from? We stop the vilification. And what I'm proposing doesn't require taking off your clothes or trying some wild new sexual aerobic position. What I'm proposing doesn't even require a partner or even taking off your clothes. This acknowledging and working consciously with this life force energy that shows up in subtle forms and aroused forms. It's creative and it's pleasurable, and that's systemic. And whenever creativity and pleasure show up, things are usually working.
Beautiful. Great. So that leads me now to share a little bit more about energy. When we speak about sexual energy, it's energy. However, the curious thing is that none of us had any class in high school or college about human energy. You may have learned about nuclear energy or electrical energy or thermal energy, but not about human energy. And human energy runs through us. It emanates from the base of the spine, moves up in a serpentine way, like a DNA shape, and back down again. It does it all the time. Just like blood flow, energy flows. We don't have to plug it in the morning. It's ever present until we pass. Now, there's one thing, which is that the breath goes hand in hand with life force, with the flow of energy. When we don't breathe, we die. It's rather obvious, you know? So, if they go together when we are dying, they must go together when we are alive, and we put that to use. This is why we want to learn how to breathe consciously into the belly breath. This is how we want to learn how to have this little pause so that we can start watching our thoughts, watching our emotions, and learn to watch our life force energy. So just imagine if you could bring that witness state of mind while you're breathing to your energy arousing. Usually when we get aroused, finally I don't have to think about anything else anymore, so let me just go into it, and which is great. Nothing against it. However, we can take this to another level of consciousness where I can actually, through the breath, breathe the energy up throughout my body all the way into my third eye, and of course back down again, because we don't want to get overwhelmed with all that orgasmic energy that makes us crazy and, you know? No, we want to be in the flow, because when we are in the flow, we feel healthy and well. And this is where the connection of the sexual with the spiritual and the spiritual with the sexual occurs. It's not a construct any longer. It's an experience. It's a beingness. And the curious thing is that we can have this experience at any moment. I don't even have to be highly aroused. Yeah? So that I just can feel the energy trickling up and trickling down. Before we guide you in a practice there, because we want to give you a taste of that today, is that I want to share a little bit more now about feminine energy, and then Freddy shares about masculine energy, because these two energies show up differently, also in sexual terms. And it has to do with that feminine energy is based in estrogen. We call it the slow hormone. Feminine energy wants to be reawakened. It wants, whenever we have more estrogen, this is how it shows up. So it doesn't matter if I'm heterosexual or bisexual or, you know, asexual, right? Or gender, transgender. It doesn't matter, because energy is energy. Yeah? But based on the hormones, it shows up differently. So we could look at feminine energy as circular, flowing, capricious, like this. You know, it's often called the creative energy. And masculine energy is the directional energy, the linear energy, the focused energy that wants to be funneled. It's based in testosterone. So for us women, or in terms of feminine energy, because not everybody may really identify with when I say woman, because there are also men who may closely identify with what I'm saying right now, which is being in the flow and awakening that flow. And of course, in the awakening, stuff may come up that has kept us from the flow beforehand. However, once we have opened up and the energy is awakened, that feminine energy can, have whole body orgasms, multiple orgasms, be in orgasmic waves. Now, this is not necessarily that easy for every woman, but this is totally possible. So now, for the men, it looks a little different.
Right. So, yeah. For us guys, imagine being able to extend your orgasmic energy for a half hour or an hour or longer. And this is completely possible. It's bringing consciousness to our breath, conscious breathing, channeled with squeezing. There's a PC squeeze, coccygeal muscle control that we teach. Also working consciously with that energy, we're able to extend that orgasmic nectar, I call it, for as long as you'd like. And I mentioned earlier that whenever creativity and pleasure show up, things are working. Well, if you think of that sexual energy as creative and life-giving and pleasurable when we're in it, when we bring consciousness to the sexual, creativity and pleasure start showing up in areas of life outside of the sexual, in the simple process of living itself. We've written books about it. There's thousands of books about it. Don't believe me, try it and see what shows up for you. So for the man, there is the opportunity to extend and bring consciousness to this unconscious aspect of our being. It's like from day one, look, Ma, no hands. And we're run by the little head our whole life. So when we start bringing consciousness to that orgasmic automaticity, we start to reach another level, not just physiologically and informing in our bedroom practice and activity, but also in how we listen to our counterpart. Listening to her. And how, yes.
So we have 5 minutes, and I have one question. I mean, I have many questions, but one is right there. I heard it in the space. When you said to be able to extend the orgasm for 30 minutes or more. And I heard a voice in the space say, I don't want him to have that thing going on for 30 minutes or more.
Well,
so that's one question I have. Because if you are not experiencing sacred sex, right, you might be like, oh, dear God, 5 minutes is too much already. That's a whole world we could unpack. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, this is the thing. For the man, if it's just boom, 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 who wants boom, 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 boom for an hour,
Right.
When it's slow and there's gazing and there's breathing and there's connecting and there's receiving and there's sending and there's dream making, it becomes timeless. And you look up and you go, hey, it's been 3 days. We got to go. It's
That's what I want to explore, because I feel like we have been so conditioned to have our sexual experience be about a destination.
Yes.
And so what could be possible, and this is what Nathan and I are practicing right now, is like to experience our sexual practice as a meditation. That is totally new for me. And very specifically, what that historically looked like was I would get to a point of stimulation, and then I'd be like, okay, stop. And now there's something new. It's like that happens, and it's like, okay, breathe. Like, that is real.
It's real. And so the bedroom is real, and then what happens in how you communicate outside of the bedroom, how you say goodbye, how you say hello, how you make requests, how you listen to requests, how you handle your upsets and start to watch how you can choose a communication. Everything changes. It's a path. It really does change so many things.
There's one key here in what you brought up, Lola, which is why a man wants to learn to channel and circulate his energy is that he can listen that he can listen, because when he is aroused, it's the same for us as when I'm highly aroused, it's so great because my mind stops for a moment. This is why we have orgasms. We don't think in that moment, finally. And here's the thing, that a man wants to learn to bring up his beautiful, wonderful, powerful energy into his heart. And then at a later point, he brings it all up here. And from that place, the intensity gets a little bit dissipated so that he can listen with his body, with his lingam, which is a Sanskrit term for the penis, and which means, what is it?
Wand of light. Much more endearing than dighead.
Wand of light.
Wand of light. Then he can...
I just had this vision of Bodhi, folks. Let me tell you about my wand of light. Oh, Lord!
But even when you say it like this, we hear the listening.
Yeah.
The wand of light.
Yes, I like it.
From here, listens from here, listens from here, listens from here, listens from here. And that is where the woman feels gotten, or the partner, if it's in a same-sex relationship.
Well, and what I love about the wand of light is that you start to notice the way that we don't like to talk about those parts. We make them bad, we make them wrong, it becomes the pee-pee or the whatever, and it's like, wow, could we all be adults and talk about the wand of light?
Actually, I would say, let's become children again in the innocence, because when we are children, we just explore.
Yeah.
There is no good or bad or right or wrong. And the good news is, it's within us already. So it's not that we give you something new. We assist you in taking the veil off. And now, in closing, we would like to give you a taste of what it means to move your energy from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head. Right now in this practice, we do this with subtle energy. It's not aroused, at least so I think. And then at home you can take it to another level. So if you could just sit on your sit bones with your 2 feet on the floor. And exhale all air when you're ready. And taking in a deep breath through the nose, filling the belly, the chest, all the way up to the top of the head. And on the exhalation, visualize sending the breath down through your torso, all the way down and out of your base, into the earth. Again, a deep breath in, filling the belly, the chest, all the way to the top. Now hold the breath at the top. Don't exhale. Now squeeze your pelvic floor muscles as you were holding back the urination. Hold it. Hold the squeeze and hold the breath. Now keep the squeeze and exhale with a shh. Let the muscle go at the bottom. Deep breath in, filling the belly, the chest, to the top of the head. Hold the breath at the top, squeeze, and now imagine moving up the energy from that squeeze all the way into your third eye. And hold the energy in your third eye, supported by the squeeze. Hold it there. Hold it there. Just a little longer. Keep the squeeze and exhale with a shh. Let the muscle go. Deep breath in, filling the belly, the chest, to the top of the head. Hold the breath. Squeeze. Move the energy up all the way into your third eye. Squeeze. Squeeze. Hold the breath. Just a little longer. Beautiful. Keep the squeeze and exhale with a shh. Let the muscle go. Deep breath in, a cleansing breath from the bottom to the top. And on the exhalation, let the breath trickle down like water through the channel of your energy centers, all the way down and out of your base, on into the earth. And then one more time, a deep breath, cleansing breath, from the bottom to the top. And on the exhalation, let the breath trickle down like water through the channel of your energy centers, down and out of your base, into the earth. And then continue breathing in your own rhythm, witnessing the rising of your belly on the inhale and the falling of your belly on the exhale. And while you're breathing in and out, take a moment and notice how you're feeling right now. Notice any tingling. Notice any energy movement. Notice your emotions. And notice your state of mind. And then slowly come back into the space by opening your eyes.
Birds flying high, you know how we feel. Sun in the sky, you know how we feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how we feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day and a new life for me, for we, and we're feeling good. Yeah.
Freddy and Elsbeth, thank you for your brilliance.